And amid the violence, you could see people in skull masks carrying Bibles, flags that read, "Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president." Some people literally carried crosses to the Capitol and led prayer groups on that day. What led so many faithful Christians to see a profane, self-absorbed, twice-divorced reality TV star as a divinely inspired leader is an important question. The religious right has been around for a long time, but this kind of political expression of religion, one not separate from but intimately connected to government, has grown increasingly common lately.
We need to be the party of nationalism, and I'm a Christian and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists, and I'm a Christian and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists, and I'm a Christian and I say it proudly. We should be Christian nationalists.
Because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and God alone.
The church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. That is not how our founding fathers intended it. And I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk.
Wow, that's pretty intense. Party of Christian nationalists? But what exactly is Christian nationalism? According to Christianity Today, it is a mass movement that believes the American nation is defined by being Christian and the government should keep it that way. But which Christianity are Christian nationalists actually talking about? It's not the love thy neighbor kind. After all, many scholars like Kelly J. Baker argue that the most dedicated Christian nationalists in America a century ago were the members of the Ku Klux Klan, who also marched on Congress in hopes of reclaiming the country for their white Christian vision. In fact, the preacher who launched the Christian nationalist crusade back in the 1940s, Gerald L.K. Smith, was a conspiracy-spouting anti-Semite, claiming the president had Jewish ancestry, publicly embracing a kind of muscular and mainly white Christianity that is defined by its politics. You figure they love Jesus and they love America, and you might not imagine that it could be someone who would violently invade the United States Capitol to interrupt the certification of an election. And yet here is where we are. How did we get to this point?
You know, Christian nationalism is a political ideology and a cultural framework that tries to merge identities of Americans and Christians. And it has been around for a long time. It is a pervasive and deeply embedded ideology that's been around in our democracy for at least 200 years. But you're right that it is becoming a bigger problem because it is increasingly violent and extreme.
How much of that is grounded in Christian nationalism, this idea that America is somehow divinely ordained? I mean, do these people really believe that the U.S. can do no wrong, and if it does, it is the fault of non-Christians who are in this country, and that they're getting in the way of Christians from running this country successfully?
Well, I think that Christian nationalism is certainly at play here, just like racism is at play. Christian nationalism operates a lot like racism. It's so embedded in the culture of the United States that we cannot divorce ourselves from it.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to YAHAWAH, BaHa, SHAM, YAHAWASHI, BaHa, SHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH, and double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops as well of Great Millstone. Also honors as well to you leaders and brethren making up the body, even you supporters of this truth, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, I ran across this video, but the brother Judah Tribe 1969 sent me this clip, and shalom to that brother. And I've seen it before, and I believe I did a video off this guy from another video dealing with Christian nationalism. So I said I looked through it, and this was, even more information. And I'll also get an article and probably a few scriptures through the commentary of the video. Now, this guy, Vocab Malone, he will, now that I title it this way, he probably will touch on it, because I think I did a video on, what is it called, British Israelism, and he did a video discussing the differences. Now, the differences with what he called Black Hebrew Israelism and Christian nationalism, The difference is we never stormed the White House. This is a dangerous mindset to the so-called American people, right? According to this doctrine, this is a dangerous mindset to the government, to the people, right? To the land, to the policies. It's just a dangerous doctrine. These people believe that the way this place was set up, that God gave them the God-given right to go in and destroy and murder and destroy people's lands and take their heritage. See, the difference with the biblical Israelites, when you go through the history of the biblical Israelites, when they went into lands and they took it, it was all by the Spirit of the Lord and done in righteousness, right? These guys, these people have managed to rape, rob, steal, kill, destroy, right? Even take people whole heritages, right? And that's not supposed to happen. And then it has to be ordained by the Lord, which when you read, the Lord did have other nations, right, get set up, and this man was set up. But for what? He was set up to enslave the Negroes in America and the natives, right? That's why this place was set up. It wasn't set up to glorify, to prosper, because if that was the case, you wouldn't have to be marching in the White House to ask God to deliver your country back. It was never your country. Those people you came over here and slaughtered were the Israelites, biblically, and you destroyed them. Numbers 35 and 33 said, "Ye shall not pollute the land ye are, for blood defileth the land." Right? But the land cannot be cleansed, I'm just quoting, but the land cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it. The 1948ers, the same damn thing. They had to set up a NATO and EU conference or whatever to get them up in that land, man. And then they supplanted them and did all kind of wickedness to them people, man. But then out of the establishment, they built it on a manner of peace. Anyway, but where's Vocab when it comes to this stuff? Black Hebrew Israelites, so-called, are not going down to the White House and storming the Capitol with flags and the Bible and the cross. Micah 2:2, or Micah 2:2. And let me go to 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand to do so, right? And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house. I'm talking about even his whole nation, man. And it goes on to say, even a man and his heritage. Right? So who did this happen to? Clearly, this Bible that was speaking was not speaking to these people who stole this land. Right? It was not speaking to the people who stole this land. And we're going to show you more proof. But they make it seem like it was them. This land was for them. Yeah, for a short time. And then they had a nerve to have us sing these God Bless America songs while we was in school, man. Knowing that this is what you did to the children of Israel and destroyed them. G51:59. I'm going to look up the words. And the heritage. Possession, property, inheritance. Right? Jeremiah 17:4 as well. Thou shalt discontinue from thy inheritance, their heritage, property, portion. Okay? It says the harvest. It's a whole lot on here, but you get the point. This is what they did to the children of Israel, man. Let's go to Habakkuk 2, and I'll get an article. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also he transgresseth by wine. Okay? He is a proud man. Right? He transgresseth by these false philosophies and actual wine. Joel, the 3rd chapter, said he sold a girl for wine, right, and a boy for a harlot. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and he cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So anyway, I'm going to read this little article real quick. White Christian nationalism, called WCN, okay, says, is first of all a story about America. It says America was founded as a Christian nation by white Christians, and its laws and institutions are based on biblical, that is Protestant Christianity. This much is certain. Though America is divinely favored, whence it enormous wealth and power in exchange for these blessings, America has been given a mission to spread religion, freedom, and civilization by force. So we could clearly see this is what happened, right? And this is what Vocab will try to say, that you had people who converted us peaceably and gave us opportunities. They gave you opportunity to live a little more comfortable in that hell that we were in. And some of them was force converted, and then over time you had ones that wanted to be convert because they had a better way of life. We were broken people, right? And that's just clear. We were broken down. We was beaten. When you during the time of the war, 1770, 76, when the Civil War, even when you conquered the natives, you had them fight along with you. That's what happens when you take down nations. They become part of you. Okay? And this country stayed in war all the way up to the Afghan war. All those years, nobody knew that this whole country has continually been in war. They just called them different wars, and of course, it was kept out of the media. Anyway, so when they gave us the Bible and force converted us, they took the pages, they took the Old Testament out, part of the New Testament out, and gave us the what they call the prosperity part of the doctrine. Then they set up these preachers in the churches to teach that doctrine. That's why that's all they teach you. That goes back to slavery. And then they would ask people, if you were saved, you would convert. If you didn't convert, you were killed, or you were ostracized, or you were looked at as nothing. This is why Jake would do anything in his power to be popular, or have that nice car, or have those nice shoes. Christianity was like having that nice house, because you can get those things. You can get amenities. Okay? Imagine slavery, man, and then all of a sudden you get even when slavery ended, you got a chance to get different portions, a little bit of land, a little bit of field, right? And then you felt like you belonged. Anyway, if necessary, but the mission is endangered by the growing presence of non-whites, non-Christians, and non-Americans on American soil. White Christians must therefore take back the country. I'm going to read a little bit of this too. To understand American Christianity, to understand how American Christianity became entangled with racism and violence, right? It says, we first have to trace it back to the scriptural root. It says those roots are dual. In turns, out of the white Christian WCN, it is not just one story, but two. The first is the Promised Land. The New England Puritans saw themselves as the heirs of the biblical Israelites. They imagined themselves as the chosen people, okay? And they came to see the New World as their promised land. And as their relationship with the natives shifted from curiosity to hostility, they began to see the Indians as Canaanites, right? Okay, and that's what they called us, right? So I don't get that. They call them Canaanites, and they call the Negroes Canaanites, who had to be conquered. Now, to understand this story, because a lot of people ain't going to go into that, they're talking about the curse of Ham, or Canaan, when he saw his son, when he saw Noah naked, and Shem which that's why they took on the ideology of Shem, of Shemites, which the 1948ers are of Shem, but they took on that ideology and they cut us out and made it about a black and white thing. Okay? And this is where you get the black and white, because the curse of of Canaan, they said that we were cursed black. That's what they said. That's crazy. So we can understand how racism really took root from that teaching and that ideology, when it was actually a total opposite. And in fact, at that time, they all were so-called black. Anyway, the two stories gradually fused together during the Puritans' War and the Indians. Cotton Mather came to believe that the New World would be the central battlefield in a final struggle between good and evil. So they came and conquered and called those peaceful people living in the land just evil people, and they were Canaanites, and they needed to be destroyed. This is what this man was thinking, right? And that mindset is going on even to this day. If this land was so righteous, why the hell is all the things happening in it? So clearly the Most High is not with this land. He only had a short run anyway. He placed himself and his brethren on the side of good. See, we're the only ones that are not allowed to believe that the Lord is with us. Everybody else can believe the Lord is with them. The 1948ers even said, well, look, and we're the real people. You can't be of us, but you can be a Gentile and flow unto us, meaning you have to serve us. They admitted that. They even said that. But no outcry, no vocab for that. I've done videos on that. Anyway, he placed himself and his brethren on the side of the good, and the Catholic French and their native allies on the side of evil, right? He likened the Indians to demons and viewed the killing of Indians as a blood sacrifice to an angry God. Yeah. It was war and wedded Protestantism and Englishness together in the New World. See that? And you can read many stories on this, and these white people will even tell you the story and the truth on a lot of this stuff. And you have to know that everything that is started, everything you see happening today breeds off of a lot of this stuff, you know? Anyway, Psalms 83:4, they have said, I can quote this, I don't know where I'm at. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You know, you can't get around that. John 10:10 says, the thief cometh not but to steal and kill and destroy. Well, it's just going to our people as well, but you can apply this because this is what the thief do, man. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. So these people that's Christian nationalism, the 1948ers, okay, they have the power over you. And they're the ones have you in a certain kind of bondage. You're just used as another tier or level to oppress the children of Israel. Other than that, you are still under a thumb. All you Christian nationalists, man, you know who running this setup, those elites. A lot of you know who it is. So if the Lord was with it, why did he use them? Anyway, this is the kind of video that Vocab might touch on now that I brought it up, or maybe some other brothers, I don't know, but personally I brought up about British Israelism, then he does a video on it. But he won't stay on it. This is dangerous Christianity right here. Now, just because one Israelite do something, we can't link ourselves together as all Israelites. But that's what this guy do. So then we're going to link these Christian nationalism all with Christianity. It's all one link. And the reason why it's all similar, because the doctrine that's being taught in the Christian church all comes from slavery. That's all I have on that. Shalom.